Dating, it's all about being intentional. You have the power. It's important to take yourself seriously and realize that you are the prize.
Because I feel like a lot of the time with women, we're waiting so much to be chosen, and we wait for, or we fashion ourselves and we change ourselves for somebody to pick us, to choose us.
And then I will say something 2 weeks from now and you'll be like, are you my girlfriend?
Yay! Oh my God.
When you travel and you use Bumble, you realize that when you're in South Africa, you're like, I'm not the problem.
It's not me.
It's not me.
It's my location.
It's my location. Picture the life you guys live. Picture the things you do. And start doing those things now before you start dating, because that's how you're going to meet your partner.
There's an abundance of good people out there for you, and the first step to finding it is realizing that and going there with an open heart and open and ready to meet them. Hello everyone. Welcome to According to Be, the podcast where we talk all things life, love, and everything in between. According to me, B, and my friends, faves, and co-hosts you meet along the way. So today, we're leaning more into the love side of the podcast. I'm getting in touch with my inner lover girl. Well, I'm trying, okay? If you knew what the dating streets look like, and maybe you do, first of all, it's the podcast for you, then you'll know why I'm trying. In this episode, we're not only speaking about dating, but dating intentionally. What does that mean? Well, for me, it's more about value clarification, knowing your goals, maybe taking some time, doing that healing, doing some much needed growth so you can hop onto the highway of romance with a clear direction and know exactly what you're looking for. And not just that, but enjoy the process. Because if we're being honest, like I just said, a lot of the girls are not enjoying. But after this, I think we'll be inspired to really be more empowered in our dating life and find the loves of our lives, even if it's just ourselves, but hopefully not ourselves, or not just ourselves, okay? Ourselves and other people, maybe. I don't know what your life story is. Anyways, and joining me for today's co-host is a big sister on the internet, which is nice because I always feel like people be telling me I'm their big sister, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like literally 20 years old. How am I your big sister? I'm not 20 years old for the people who are just listening in, but it's so nice to have a conversation, especially in this field, with someone who has been through the ropes a little bit, but also can advise me and advise you, and we have a lovely back and forth conversation all about love, romance, and all that jazz. Who am I talking about? South African YouTuber and lifestyle content creator, Thandi Gama. Thandi is well known for her YouTube channel, where elegant meets laid back, and her apartment living Instagram page, which she shares with her sister and fellow content creator, showcasing how they style their apartments and homes. Thandi has worked with multiple high-end brands, and one thing I can tell you about her is she's giving quality. My girl, not only does she look the part, but she walks the walk too, which you're going to hear all about in our conversation. And you guys will see that Thandi's just got it together, okay? From the looks to the life to the career. And also, it seems with the dating, she's a girl with a plan. But let's get into the episode so you guys can see for yourselves, because you can believe me or you can enjoy and listen. So if you're ready for some good old girl chat, because that's really what this episode felt like, sit back, relax, and let's get into dating with intention, according to me, B, and Thandi Gama. Thandi Gama, welcome to According to B.
Thank you so much. I've been waiting for this moment.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because I was like, Thandi, she needs to come on my channel. And I'm like, now's the right time.
Yeah. And I'm extremely excited to be here.
Yay!
Thank you.
Okay, so Thandi, before we get started into our topic of the day, can't wait to get into it and hear your opinion on it. I want to introduce a new segment. The first time we're doing this, we're doing a highlight and low light. Very simple. Tell us this week, what's been your highlight?
My highlight is starting a whole new eating plan. I'm always happy to
tell us about that.
Okay, so I finally went to see a dietitian, and then she literally picked out things that I like, and it's like I'm starting to eat things that make sense. I'm not cutting out any food groups. It's not like a diet, so it's not depressing. I feel like you go on a diet, the first 2 days you're like, yay, and then it's depressing, and you're like, how many more days?
Yeah.
No, this is exciting because it's literally like things I like to eat, so I'm enjoying it. And then you said low light, right?
We'll get into the low light,
Okay.
but I just want to comment on that because I feel like you're like a holistic it girl right now.
so?
Because we're just like, oh my gosh, Thandi, the look, you've got, the outfit, the hair, and also the
Yes.
diet. I love that for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I also went to a dietitian at the beginning of the year because, in the beginning of the year, you're just like,
like,
okay, and do goals. But for me, it was like more for gut health.
Yes.
And I think it's so important what you said about actually enjoying what you're eating because that's the only way it's going to be like,
Yes.
keep it on the long term. Sustainable.
True.
Yeah. So my highlight of the week is that I just came back from a mid-year vacation. It was
Okay.
very short, but I think I like vacations and it's super long. And this one was like very short, like a weekend vibe.
Yeah.
But, at the end of or in the middle of the year, you're stressed out, you're burnt
Yeah.
out. So yeah, that's really my highlight of just going away, resetting. And now I'm like, okay, back to real life. That's actually low-key my low light,
Yes.
that I'm back now.
Yeah. I know, I hate that, like coming back to reality.
What's your low light?
Low light has to be, I had a party this weekend. So I had a birthday party with friends. And obviously that part is fun. But something you need to know after your 30s, like recuperating after a hangover is never the easiest thing.
Uh-huh.
And I woke up and the house was a mess and I had to clean up. So I
Yeah.
started cleaning up because I felt good. And like 3 hours into cleaning, when the house starts looking good, the hangover starts kicking in really bad.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why is being 30 like this? It usually takes 2 days.
The recovery is just not the same.
It's not the same. So yeah.
Is it specifically in your 30s for you, or is it like late 20s? Because I just know for myself, I don't bounce back like I used to at all.
Yeah, I think it started in my late 20s.
Uh-huh.
And obviously, just after 30, it's just gotten like really worse. Like,
Yeah.
even like the smallest amount of alcohol will give you a hangover.
Yeah, I'm just like, I want to be the sober friend, but then I'm also just like, exactly.
No,
Like, it's
sometimes
okay.
you just want to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've kind of reduced my alcohol intake as I've grown older because I just can't handle it. It takes too much of my time the next day to like get back to life, and we gotta work.
Girl, we gotta work. We
Yeah.
gotta push.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think like, speaking of things that have changed,
Yes.
let's get into the topic of the day.
Okay.
All right, which you said
Okay.
you didn't prepare for, which I'm so happy about,
Yeah.
because we're gonna get like the real.
Yeah.
And we're talking about dating, but intentional dating specifically.
Okay.
So-
love this topic.
I want to start there. When you hear the word intentional dating, actually, you know what? Before we even get there, let's check in.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you in your dating life? How's that?
Okay, currently in the moment, I'm just like in my dating era. So it's like, I think people always have this misconception when they say dating. I'm like not seeing one person. I'm seeing people and getting to know them. And I think sometimes people are like judgy when you say I'm seeing more than one person. I'm not like seeing more than one person and doing things people do with their boyfriends or their actual partner. I'm getting to know people. I'm exploring different people, understanding like, okay, these are the things that I don't like. I'm being honest with myself and getting to the point much quicker. So it's kind of like I'm not just meeting one person and saying, you're it. Yeah, let's date. I'm like, okay, nice to meet you. This is who you are. This is who I am. Surely we're not meeting halfway. On to the next person. Let's figure each other out. And then, when it's not working, just keep on moving on. And that's where I am currently. Just dating, getting to know people, exploring people, understanding more of who I'm looking for in a partner.
I love that. We were actually talking earlier about the whole idea of dating multiple people at once and having a roster. You know what I'm saying?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Listen! And I love that you said that, it's because I think for me, where I've kind of gone wrong in my dating life is that, I date one person and I like them and I stick to that person while I'm dating, while I'm getting to know them, and you put all your eggs in one basket. And then by the time it doesn't work out, now I'm tired. I can't even
and then it
entertain
doesn't
anyone
fit
else.
you.
I just want to go on my singleness era, for forever. So I love that you're seeing a lot of people and you're just enjoying it and you're figuring out what you want, who you are. And there's just no shame around it. I think especially for women, there's like so much
shame
and
that
judgment.
people,
Yeah.
A lot of people do judge you when you say you're going on a date this afternoon and you're going on a date in the evening, and it's like two different people, and they're like, "What do you mean?" It's just
I
going
love
for
that.
coffee and the other's just
Yeah.
going for dinner. We're all adults. We're talking. It's pretty much the same as like when we're like trying to meet friends, we do go out for a lunch with them, and like when we're trying to have friends, we don't just stick to one person at a time. You can have lunch with 3 different people that you are considering to be your friend, but there's no judgment when it comes to that. But there's judgment when it comes to dating, because I think some people don't understand how far you're supposed to take things when you're dating. Yeah, that's the misconception.
Do you have a favorite? Like, as you're dating, like, all these people, is there like a level, or I don't know, because I would assume, at least for me, even though I would be spreading my time amongst different people as I'm getting to know them, there would potentially be like one that I'd like a little bit more, or do you only find that out a little bit later on?
I think that's something you find out later on, because obviously you have things that you are looking at. When you start up, when you put everyone at the beginning of the race, everyone is like going at the same pace, and surely someone will put in more effort, and you start to pick out the things that, okay, this one is doing this and this is why they're going that way, this one is doing this and this is why they're going that way, and you eventually do get to liking certain things about someone, and they might become a favorite, and then that might lead into something more serious. But right now I don't have a favorite. I'm just like going at it.
Right now you guys still gotta work for it. You gotta earn your place.
Sure.
Okay, so my question is, because I really want to get into like my multi-dating bag, is where do you meet these people, especially in the southern hemisphere of Africa?
Guys, right now, I remember I was like, I'm tired of online dating, but I went back there because I just
Did you go back?
I'm like, I'm tired of online dating, because the amount of dates that I went on that were like shocking, because when you meet people online versus who they are in person, totally different person. And I just realized you cannot judge a book by its cover, and then you cannot place everybody in the same basket. Not all the potatoes are rotten, you know? So I literally meet people online, and I don't think I've met someone outside, because I'm not in a position where I'm putting myself in places where I can meet people, but that's something I'm trying to change now.
Same.
I'm trying to change.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, I remember asking people, where do you meet people? And people were like, go to cafes, go to all these places. And I think sooner or later, I'm going to be entering that phase where I'm finding myself in places where I can meet people. And dating, it's all about being intentional. So if you are trying to meet someone, my mom always tells me and my sister, like, girls, like, nobody knows your address. Like, you won't find anyone there. And my mom sent us a link the other day of a car show, like, you know, old vehicles, like people that love like these vintage vehicles. She's like, I think you girls should go there. Maybe you might meet my mkhwenyana.
Mom is focused.
Mom is like focused. She's like, you guys, no one is gonna meet you in your house. Like, if you stay in your house, you're not gonna meet anyone. And if you stay in your house, the only option you have is online dating. So you have to be intentional and get yourself out there. And that's literally what I'm doing right now.
I literally, like, when I think about online dating, it just deflates my spirit so much. Because I think I actually like it in theory, the idea of it. But it's actually a lot of work. But as you said, you also need to be intentional in your online dating experience and how you present yourself and like what you're looking for. And I don't know about you, but are you, whether it's you meeting someone online or you're meeting someone in person, are you very like forthcoming in the beginning about like what you're looking for, and you want to know what are you looking for? Do you outright say that?
Yeah, I'm very like, so I'll tell you, like, when it comes to looking at people's profiles, obviously I'll pay, I use the paid versions, and
Really?
yeah, it's better. It's like,
Okay.
why are you depriving yourself the opportunity of choice?
This is true.
Pay for it.
Wait, what's the
See?
difference? What does it offer you?
So when you pay for it, you can see all the people that are swiping for you.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, why am I going to look there when I have a whole queue over here?
Yeah.
If I have a queue, I'll first go through the queue and decide what I like. And because I know I have certain things that I look for in a profile, like some people put it out there and say, looking for something casual. I'm not trying to meet someone looking for something casual. Out, you know, you remove them from the list. Then you see someone, you look at what their profile says. Does it relate to what you're looking for in a person? Do their values align? And then when you go there and you're done there, then you can go back on the other side where you're swiping. But I feel like you have the power. It's important to take yourself seriously and realize that you are the prize. And if you are the prize, treat yourself that way and don't settle. So when you go through that whole list and you don't like it, then like just go back there, you know?
I love what you said about taking yourself seriously and realizing that you are the prize.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of the time with women, we're waiting so much to be chosen, you know?
Yes.
And we wait for, or we fashion ourselves and we change ourselves for somebody to pick us, to choose us, you know? But when you, even something like online dating, when you take it in a more empowering route of, okay, I'm going to actually choose who I'm gonna say yes to. I'm not gonna wait for, a maybe. So yeah, it's definitely like changed my perception around it a little bit more. Maybe Bumble will get my coins now.
Just try it. Trust
Do you
me.
have a favorite? Because
I use Bumble and Hinge. I haven't paid for Hinge because I think that's the more expensive one.
Okay.
I use Bumble and I love Bumble when you travel.
Girl, me too.
Let me tell you, when you travel and you use Bumble, you realize that when you're in South Africa, you're like, I'm not the problem.
It's not me.
It's not me.
It's my location.
It's
for
my
real.
location. And honestly, I feel like sometimes we're in a space where there's people that don't value us. Because I remember when I was in England, I was there 24 hours and I was like, oh, by the way, I have my Bumble profile. Tell me how I hadn't even been there 3 weeks. It's 24 hours and I had 300 men swipe for me in 24 hours.
Oh my gosh.
That was too much. That was too much choice.
Damn.
Now I was like, this is too much choice. Who do I swipe for? Who do I go on a date with? And when I'm looking at all these men, I'm like, Jesus.
Like, I want to go on a date with all of you. Damn.
These men look so good. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. Sometimes you're in the wrong location. I do say travel a bit more. If dating in your city is hard, like just explore. Go to Cape Town for a weekend and spend the whole weekend going on breakfast, lunch, dinner dates,
I'm actually going to Cape Town towards the end of this month, and I was like, you know what? That is where...
That's what you do. You swipe, you switch on your location before you leave, because if you pay for it, you can actually change your location before you leave.
Yo, Bumble's getting my money. Influenced.
So you can be like, you can start a conversation with like 10 of your potentials a week before you get to Cape Town, and let them know I'm coming to Cape Town, and then you set up a date, and then just see where things go.
I love that, guys. When I come back, I'm going to find my husband. And I'll be like, thanks, Thandi Gama. Thank you, girl.
Pleasure. I'll be seeing all those TikToks. Spend a day with me and a life of a long-distance relationship between Joburg and Cape Town.
Oh, my gosh. I'm here for it. I think what I wanted to ask next is, just going back to, being intentional and whatnot. Do you know what kind of love and what kind of partner you're looking for, and are you able to express that? Like, what type of love are you looking for next or at this stage in your life?
Okay, so I feel like right now I am looking for someone that is very much like me as a person, is my better half. I don't want them to be exactly like me, but is much like me as in like my values. I feel like I want someone that puts God first in their life, someone that is very intentional. I want someone who sees me as much as their equal as I am their partner. And I want someone who values me as much as I value them. I want someone who wants to build, someone who just sees us as being a duo and not competitors. Like you want to be in a relationship with someone that makes you better, and you wake up every day and you guys are working towards the same goals, and like the dreams align, everything in your life aligns. So I just want someone that wants the same things as me. Yeah.
I totally agree. And I think all I would add to that is that, I would love, a love that is sure, that is steady, consistent.
Someone that sees you.
Someone that sees you.
It's you.
Yes, and no doubt from either parties, because sometimes they can choose you, but you're also not too sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in an ideal world, I would love to also, 100% that, like, this is my person. And of course, that takes time. You don't immediately meet someone and then all of a sudden. And also a foundation of friendship, I think.
Yes, that is so important.
I think it's very important,
important. Because if you can't be friends, I think you lack that sort of communication where you guys can meet together and get to one standpoint.
Yeah.
But if you're friends, it's so easy to communicate, and that should be the basis of a relationship.
Yeah, and it's like when all is said and done, when you remove all those things, at least you know that you have the respect, you have that friendship that'll keep you together, and especially when you want that long-term companionship.
Yes.
So I am hopeful. Okay, especially now that I got my new tips, I'm definitely hopeful that, finding that forever friend with a whole lot of other perks to it as well.
Love it for you.
Have you, what's been your experience in terms of boundaries and communicating them and expressing them in dating and relationships?
I think when I was dating much earlier, I didn't really have certain boundaries. I think I wasn't good at I think I just wasn't good at expressing my boundaries. And as I've gotten much older and very sure of myself, I'm very good at telling someone, listen, this is not going to fly here. This is not happening. And I have just realized that I should not be making room for the things that I do not want, you know? Sometimes you express your boundaries and someone goes, crosses those boundaries more than once. And we let it go and we keep those people in our lives. And it's sort of like waste your time. So I'm at a point where, like, I don't have time to waste. So if we are not aligned and you cannot respect my boundaries, I don't think you have a space in my life. So I am at a point whereby it's like, if you can't respect my boundaries, there's the door.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
And it's fully, I think, you know, in terms of like enforcing and implementing your boundaries, it's fully reflective of the relationship that you have with yourself, you know, and the way that you see and value yourself. I saw this TikTok and this lady was saying, you know, somebody who says yes when they want to say no is emotionally unreliable. And I was like, damn, that's been me, because very much like you, I knew what my boundaries were, but I allowed them to be crossed. And, you know, in thinking about why did I do that, I was like, Bokang, you actually don't value yourself. You speak the speak of, I know my worth, but when it comes to actually proving that, then you let yourself down.
Yeah.
So that's definitely just been a point for me where I 100% need to put myself first.
Yes.
Even if it means being unlikable, just killing that people pleaser in you, especially
kill
in
it,
relationships.
The right person for you will respect your boundaries. They will have so much respect for the fact that you are standing your ground, and they will not look at you and feel some type of way when you stand up for yourself. It will be an honor that you're able to communicate your feelings towards them. So yeah, that's really important.
Can you give us some examples of what boundaries in any stage of dating can look like, or even in relationships?
I think, let me see. Let me look for a good example.
I mean, light doesn't even have to be that deep. But earlier we were talking about how Tsegetso, our producer, was like, you know, if she's talking to someone and she says, at 10 p.m., don't text me after that, you know?
Yeah.
Then
so I think also like some boundaries are kind of like learning to understand where we are in the relationship.
Okay.
Some people will be like, okay, you are not ready to commit, but you want certain things from me. Let's have boundaries. Let's respect one another, because one, we are not there yet, and if you are not ready to be there, I cannot give you the things that you do not deserve. So there's some people who just want so much out of it, and I'm like, sir, where are we in this relationship? I'll give you what you want when you give me what I want. When we are in this together, then we can both be respectful to one another. But you can't tell me we went on a date and you can't go on dates with other people. Sir, have you asked me to be your girlfriend? Have you told me that you are in a space where you see yourself not communicating with anyone else, and we're both happy and we've both decided on that? And also, don't decide for me. Let it be my choice as much as it is yours. So yeah.
You can't get the perks of a relationship without not only the title, but also the actions that earn that title.
Yes. And there's so many people who want to rush to that and be like, no, you can't. And I'm just like, the thing is, I will stop and then I will say something 2 weeks from now and you'll be like, are you my girlfriend?
Yay! Oh my God. When they hit you with that one.
And then you're like, actually, he's right, because I didn't stand my ground and I didn't like literally showcase these are my boundaries and this is not going to happen unless. But he knows his boundaries. He's like coming to you and saying these are my boundaries, but he's not respecting yours because you're not showing him your boundaries.
I feel like men are so good at implementing their own boundaries, where they're like, whoa, girl, hold on, know your place.
Yes.
Yeah, and we can definitely take that from them. I definitely think pacing is so important, not rushing into things, because then, you know, it's so easy to just get swept up into things. Then you get love bombed and you wonder what's going on.
And you miss the red flags.
Girl.
And you're like, wait, actually I saw this, but because this was happening and I was excited about this. I didn't see all of it. So I think also when it goes back to love bombing, it's important to love yourself and understand, like, give yourself the little things, so that when someone comes and gives you the little things, it's not love bombing, because you're used to that.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. It won't impress you, because you know what you really want and what you value and what's important to you.
Yeah. I'm so curious, as someone with also a high social media profile, and you know, you're so like public, are you very forthcoming with that, like when you're dating in the beginning, or do you kind of keep that to the side? And how do you, because I'm like, if they just Google you and they find you, girl.
So that's the thing. It's really hard. I don't usually give people my surname in the beginning. Like, it's like, obviously my profile is just like my first name.
Yeah.
And we communicate. And I like to keep my social media away from the first interaction. I feel like, because I don't have that fair share when it comes to them, because if they give me their social media, there's not much that I can dive into to look into their life, and it always feels like it's a bit unfair when someone has a head start and judges you based on your YouTube channel, judges you based on your Instagram, and then they have this whole view of who you are before they get to know you. Because I always tell people, if you sit down with me, the real me, and Thandi social media, those are two totally different people. My family will tell you, and that's why even like sometimes I don't like putting all of my family on social media, because that's not a space for them, you know. And it's kind of like putting those two people together, they're just not the same people. So I like to keep it private for a while, and then after we go on the first date, if I feel like, okay, we click, we vibe, then I will give them more information on what I do. And if we've been talking long enough, then I will tell them what I do, because I do have a dating stage also. Like, okay, I do have stages. It's not just like I meet someone and then we go on a date. No. Child,
break down the stage, please. Break down the stages.
We live in South Africa, okay? You got to be very careful when it comes to online dating. So I have this whole thing whereby when I talk to someone on, let's say I meet someone on Bumble, I will first get to know them and have the conversation on the app. I do not give them my number, because I don't want them having that much access to me. And after I feel like we are in a space whereby I'm enjoying the conversation, it's flowing, because not all conversations are great. Come on, like it can be fun 2 days. Give it 2 days, you'll see someone
True.
not being as active. If I feel like it's not like that, then I won't give you my number. Then after I give you my number, we will have voice calls, and I keep them short, sweet, getting to know you, because I want to see if you're intentional. I want to see if you are someone who will keep on calling, or if this is just a thing where you're excited because I've just given you my number and you're putting in the effort. From calls, we do move on to video calls, because talking to someone on the phone versus like looking at them and making eye contact and not giving them that opportunity to think about stuff is a totally different ball game. And it will give you an idea whether you like this person or not. You will feel it. Gives you an idea, do you want to go on a date with them or not? Then thereafter, I go on a date. Sometimes it can take about a week, 2 weeks. It depends what sort of person it is.
But you have to go through every stage.
Go through every stage, because I tell people that, like, people, when they answer you on message, like, they have time to think about that. They have time to ask someone else, what do you think I should say? The phone, there's nobody else involved in that conversation. That's just between the two of you. Video call, when there's eye contact involved, people don't know how to lie to you, you know, like they don't know how to. You can also pick up on body language. It will tell you a lot about someone. And also, just being a very public person, I like someone to see the real me, and for me to get to know the real them, and not just be like, okay, we go on a date and I look good and now you're just thinking about the fact that I looked good. No, get to know me as a person, and then we go on a date and then you're blown away. Oh my God, she looks so much better in person, this and this and that. So I go through phases. It's really important for me, because if you're going to find a friend, it's going to be in the moments where you guys are talking and just having general conversations. Cooking together, like those are the type of first dates I have before we have an actual real date. We'll cook together over FaceTime.
Oh my gosh!
Watch a movie together, do the basic things, and then go on a date. Like, if this person is still able to put in the effort after all of that,
That's exactly what I was going to say,
Yeah.
because it sounds like, I mean, probably implementing it isn't as rigorous, but it sounds like when you break it down that like, whoa, they really got to go through the ringer to get there.
Yes.
But if they can actually get through the end and they're still vibing this, that's like a great green flag.
Yeah.
I mean, of course.
Because I mean, otherwise you'll be going on 30 dates in a month.
Hey, we
a lot
ain't
of
got time for that. We ain't got time for that.
I work, guys. Like, with all the work that I do, imagine me going on dates every second day. No, I need to literally vet these people and get to a point whereby I'm actually going on a date with someone that I know I like and I've gotten to know. So also, the first date is not as awkward for me anymore, and for them, we're already at a phase where we feel like we're just like friends.
You're familiar,
We're familiar. Not like, okay.
So,
what's your favorite color? You know, that type of thing. Yeah, I like dates where we've gone past that whole thing.
just listening to you talk, it makes me so excited. I'm like, you can actually have fun during this process. Because I know for me, I don't know, I just used to find it so miserable because I think just so many things I overthought it. But just you breaking it down, I'm like, okay, Bokang, you know.
It fun.
Yeah.
Make it fun. Literally just like think about it as like a project. I don't know. Like what do you like? Like think about it like the way you put so much effort in like creating this. Like just
design your dating life to you.
This is what I want to do. Hint at things you like. Like, you know, don't be afraid to do that because you are actually in charge. Like, you shouldn't forget that as much as dating, like, people forget that because, okay, people are pursuing me, but make it also about you. Like, what are the things you want to enjoy from dating? So don't relax and allow someone to decide how your guys' dating life is going to be. Because remember, if it does become a thing, you're going to look back at your dating life and you'll be like, I wish we did this when we started dating. I wish we did that. But like, you know, just hint every now and then, you know. So
I love that.
I have a question because you
You
asked me.
I was like, no,
am I dating? Like, are you dating?
Am I dating? That is the age-old question. Thandi, I'd like for you to take a guess. Looking at me and like what you know about me so far, where do you think my dating life is at? I just want to know.
I think you're not dating.
Why?
I feel like you're like, because when I'm saying all these things, you're like scared of apps. And you're like, oh, because you're like, oh, maybe I'll try apps. I'm like, what are you doing?
No, I've tried
maybe
that.
you're meeting people in real life. I don't know.
Okay. So,
Unlike the rest of us.
It's just like, what's going on? You're not wrong. I'm not dating.
Okay.
Let me clarify first before we get into. I'm not scared of the apps. Actually, shame. Confession session. I downloaded Bumble when I was on my holiday.
Yes.
But again, I think, like you said, location is so important because not even 24 hours, I was like, I'm done with this. I'll reserve that for Cape Town.
Yes.
I believe in the power of the apps. It's just that my personal experience hasn't
been great.
It hasn't been great.
Yeah.
It hasn't. Well, also I'm lying because like maybe 2 out of 20 guys I've met from the apps and I enjoyed our time together. But then,
Have you ever paid for it?
for what?
The app. You've never paid
Oh, I thought you were going to say for a date. I was like, huh?
the app. You've never paid for it.
I haven't.
So
that's what I'm.
Maybe the thing is, I also think another thing about women and dating is that we put ourselves in a space where you think, you look at someone and you think they look good and you're like, oh, maybe they won't like me back, and you swipe the other way. What if you open up and you realize that the person that you thought doesn't like you actually likes you?
Yeah.
So that's why I say pay for it, because
true.
that's another
Because
thing
then you
about
also
women.
know for sure where they stand.
Yeah, I think women put themselves in a space. If you look at guys, now I'll be honest. Sometimes I look at dating as like act like a guy. Sometimes, guys, have you ever seen those guys that are not afraid to talk to you, whether they're cleaning the streets and they're like, ma'am, because they do not look
That
down
happened to me
upon us.
today.
Like, those guys are so confident and they will approach any woman. And women, when it comes to women, they look at guys and they're like, oh, I don't think I'm his type.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm his type. And then you swipe the other way. And I'm always like, have you ever tried just looking who actually likes you?
Yeah.
And see how versatile it is? When I paid for it, I'm like, white people like me. Indians like me. Chinese people like me.
Damn, you like me?
You know? So it's like, you have so much choice. So give yourself the choice. So I feel like you haven't allowed yourself to have choice.
I think think so too. I agree. Do you know what's so weird? I feel like with my friends, I'm you, and I'm always telling them this. But then I'm realizing I'm actually right there in the boat with my friends. I need to listen to this.
Yes.
Yeah. Open yourself up.
Yes.
And give yourself a shot and give something new, something different a shot. Because, I mean, they would be lucky to have you, whether you think you're their type or not.
Yes.
Yeah, like you said, you are the prize at the end of the day.
You are.
And dating in your 30s?
That is the ghetto. It is the ghetto. Because if you think about it, if you're 30, right? Okay. Look back at all the people you went to high school with. Most of them are married. Families. Okay. Now, when you start subtracting, okay, and maybe when you start subtracting, you realize, okay, this is the only amount of men that I'm left with. So when you start dating in your 30s, when you're meeting people, chances are you're going to meet someone who is going through a divorce. Because if you are 30, you're dating between maybe 30 till like 38 or 40. Those people have already gone through life where they've been married, someone's going through a divorce. So like where you are and where they are is totally different phases of each other's life. So it takes a lot to understand one another and where you are in life. And it's like you are also meeting people who have dated just as much as you and are going through trauma.
Ew, so
And
now you unpacking your baggage, their baggage.
You're like, I'm healed. I cannot be carrying you through your healing phase.
Dude,
heal.
You
know, so there is just a lot you deal with when you're in your 30s because there is so much going on in everyone's lives. Like people, you also are there where you're like, okay, I've discovered myself. This is where I am in my career. You're not trying to date someone who's still trying to figure themselves out. They don't know what they want to do tomorrow. They don't
also
know
at your big age.
Yeah, like at your big age, that's the thing. So dating your 30s is a ghetto because there is so much you have to filter through. Like you ask yourself, okay, this person, where do we see ourselves in 5 years? Do we align? And a lot of people may not align with you because most of the good men have been taken.
They're gone.
They gone. They married.
They gone. We with the scraps now.
We were too busy focused on our careers. You know? But it's okay. It's okay to focus on your career. Don't get that wrong. It's okay to focus on your career. You have so much time. It's just that I think it just takes a bit longer to find the right person when you're at this age.
I think another thing with that is, at least that I've had to change about myself, is like just mindset also, because when you're such a career focused person, you think all the good men are finished, all the good men are gone. But actually it might be just the way that you view your own love life and you have a scarcity mindset and lack, but you have to realize that there are people out there, there's an abundance of good people out there for you, and the first step to finding it is realizing that and going there with an open heart and open and ready to meet them.
Yes.
And
And you know what someone said that I liked? I think it was a TikTok. They said, like, you know, picture the ideal partner that you want, picture the life you guys live, picture the things you do, and start doing those things now before you start dating, because that's how you're going to meet your partner. Because if you're telling yourself, oh, me and my partner will always be going for picking orange date or whatever, are you even going to an orange farm? What if you're going to meet him there?
yeah.
You know, like there's certain things you'll be like, oh, me and him will always be like going to look at cars. Are you doing that? Because maybe those are the places where you'll meet someone that aligns with all the things you like. So think of the things that you guys would do together and start like enjoying those things before they get there, because then it also won't impress you as much. It'll be the bare minimum.
You know, you'll be like, this is the lifestyle, honey.
Yeah.
Now let's elevate from that together.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that also just reminds me of, you know, sometimes if you're in a season of waiting, people think that that's being passive or not doing anything. But very much what you said about designing your own life, or being in the driver's seat of your own love life as well, and getting started, falling in love with life, falling in love with yourself.
Dating yourself.
Yes. You know, it's underrated. I mean, I started going on my own solo dates as well, and I realized, oh my gosh, I enjoy my company so much. And in that, I got to a place where not only do I know, like literally actually know my worth and how great I am, but now I'm excited to share my awesomeness with someone else, you know, and have obviously share that with them. Will I find somebody at my level? Okay, hopefully.
Not hopefully. Yes, I will.
You're right. I just spoke about mindset. Yes, I will. Absolutely. Yeah, so just that thing of not living your life on pause,
Yes.
and then thinking that when you meet your partner, then all of a sudden life is going to be magical and starting. Life is already happening.
It's already
the present
happening.
is the moment, so get into it, girl. You know,
If you keep on waiting, are you gonna start doing all these fun things at like 35? Like just
my sister. Now, what if I only meet him at 48, which
You
is
don't
fine?
know. You actually don't know, because I think I was watching someone's video. I don't know who I was watching, but someone else, her subscriber, asked her the same question where they were like, okay, how is it dating as a Christian? And they were like, the thing about dating as a Christian is sometimes you need to allow God to work and do what he's promised you. And you know, sometimes the thing is, we are humans and we want so much and we lust because we look at things. Everyone is getting engaged. So yes, people are getting engaged, but be happy for them, because obviously when it's your turn, they'll be happy for you too. So it's kind of like when we put our trust in God, what if God says you're only going to meet your husband at 35 or 40? Now, are you going to stop living because everyone else is experiencing that and it's just not your turn yet? Live life, girl, and trust him. Pray about it, and you know, allow him to do what he's supposed to do. But like at the same time, just be happy for everyone else that's going through the same thing.
Yeah, your turn will come.
It will come.
And even if it doesn't come at when you think it is, you can still enjoy and make the most of life where you
Yes.
are right now.
Yes.
So, Thandi, then tell me, what do you think, what has your now season, I'm just going to call it a season of singleness, even though I don't know how long it's been, but what has it kind of revealed to you about yourself and your character and getting to know yourself? And maybe something that you, actually, let me ask this. What do you think that you've had to, or what is something that you've had to work on to become the person that matches your ideal partner? And maybe you're still working on that.
So I've realized is that I think a lot of the time I dated down.
Okay.
I dated down, and because for a long time, I didn't think I was worthy of the people that I deserved. So I think I didn't value myself enough. And also, I didn't give myself the chance to actually know what sort of person I was looking for. And I think in that season where you're single and you're just trying to discover it, like, get to know yourself, get to understand what it is that you love about yourself and that you would love in someone else. So I just didn't communicate before, and I think I just accepted whatever was handed to me in the beginning. And now that phase, I was like, no, this is not what I want. This is actually my type. This is what I like. This is the things that I want to experience. And now that I've discovered that, it has totally made dating a whole new experience. And that's why I'm like, I'm so comfortable with going on dates with 3 people and none of them being the one, because I'm not in my settling phase. I am not there. I'm not in my settling era. Like, it's never going to happen. I just know who I am, and I've discovered that I really am the prize, and I deserve nothing but the best.
And it just gives you a sense of ease. You're not in a rush.
Yes.
You're just allowing life to happen.
Yes.
And also, I think for me, just like you said, being okay with people not being the one, it also allows you just to appreciate the connection and the interaction for what it is, and realizing that you're going to learn something from every single person. And that's fine when you don't idealize or put like husband or boyfriend on a
Yes.
pedestal.
Yes.
I think you'll just get so much more out of life. Yeah. And for the girls who are, you know, they're doing the healing work. They're putting themselves out
Yes.
there. They are open to dating, but it's not working. They're not finding him. What advice would you give to them?
I think you need to be patient, okay? Because the person that's looking for you also is not finding someone right now. Or maybe they're with someone. You just don't know.
Yeah, maybe you need to wait for that relationship.
Maybe you're waiting for a certain relationship to end. You just never know. I think it's important to be patient. And even with patience, in that time, maybe you think you're ready and you're actually not ready. And that's why it's taking that long. So it's never really... I think when something's meant to happen, it will definitely happen. What's meant for you will never miss you. So
At all.
Yeah, so just... keep on waiting, but don't wait at home, because nobody knows your address. Nobody's coming to find you. Like, God is not handing out addresses up there and saying, listen, my guy, there's a girl that stays on the street. She's waiting for you. No. I think put in the effort. Really look at how much effort you're putting in. When it comes to dating, like I said, finding yourself in the spaces where you want to meet someone. So if you're in that waiting period, also just relook, because I was in a space where I was waiting, then I realized, why am I waiting at home?
You're waiting in the wrong place, my sister.
I'm like, nobody knows where I live.
It's
and
not going to get delivered to your door.
I'm like, I can't just be like Netflixing and chilling every single day and like swiping through stuff on TikTok and crying at people's engagements. I was like, oh my God, that is so beautiful. I'm not gonna meet him in the comment section either.
You know?
So it's kind of like, put in the work, girl. Put in the work. Yeah.
Put in the work and it'll happen when it's meant to happen.
Yes.
I love that. My advice to them would be to listen to this episode of this podcast because we just gave you all the gems, everything you need to know. Yeah. Thandi, that's the end, girl.
Oh, thank you.
Flew right by. Thank you so much for joining us.
It was a pleasure. I absolutely love it.
My life has changed and I will be coming back in the next podcast with my babe, thanks to Thandi.
I can't wait to see your dating era.
All right, guys, now it's time for our little wind down, the afterthoughts. And first and foremost, thank you so much again to Thandi for joining us. She literally gave so many gems. But if there's one thing that really stands out to me right now is that, girl, there is nothing wrong with having high expectations. You will meet the person that will be happy to meet them. And I encourage you to meet them for yourself too in the meantime. I mean, you've heard it, we spoke about it all across that conversation. I am so excited and so empowered to get my love life going on. In fact, I'm about to leave right now. I got a plane to catch to Cape Town because that's apparently where Bay is, honey. Okay. But until then, guys, I will keep you updated. Probably not, but who knows? Maybe, you know, if anything happens, maybe I'll let you guys know. Let's pray for me. In fact, let's all put our good energy in the comments below, all right? Leave a little comment letting us know what you think about this episode, what your best takeaway was. And of course, make sure to share. If you're listening, you know what to do by now. You better rate and review this podcast. Let's climb up those charts. Actually, that doesn't even matter. I'm just happy that you listened. I'm happy that you enjoyed. And if you're here, you are one of my people. Okay, I'm gonna sign out right now and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.